Hello friends, nice to see you today. I'm Mrs. Urbach and this is Charlie, and we're so happy you've joined us today. I'm excited about our letter of the day today, and I'm looking forward to the story and 2 songs I'm going to share with you today. But first, I want to talk about that big quilt on the wall behind me. And that quilt is going to give you a clue to our letter of the day and a song we're going to sing. That quilt is called On the Road Again. Now look at that quilt. Why do you think the quilter named it On the Road Again? There's no right or wrong answers, but I will show you one thing that I think of when I look at that quilt. Do you see this? What is this called? Something that shows us where to go, gives us directions? A map. And we usually don't have paper maps anymore, do we? A lot of times we look at maps on our computer or on our phones. But I like to see a paper map sometimes because I can see more at once. Look closely at this map. Do you see all those lines all over the map? Those lines are streets, and they kind of remind me of all the lines that I see on the quilt. Plus, what is the color that's around the entire quilt and in some places in the quilt? Blue. Do you know what the blue on a map stands for? That's water. So this is water surrounding this part, which is all the land. And there are little spots of blue in the land too. And those could be little ponds or lakes. So now look back at the quilt. And do you see why? It kind of makes me think of a map. And maybe that's why the quilter named it On the Road Again. Well, our letter of the day is the letter that you hear in the first word of the title of that quilt. What's that quilt called? On the Road Again. Do you hear that first word? On. If you know what letter makes that sound, go ahead and say it. I'm going to draw it here. Did you guess the letter O? O says ah. Good work. This is a big O. Let's draw a little O. Little O looks the same as the big O. So I bet you know a simple way to make an O with your body. Go ahead and try that right now. Or if you're sitting with somebody else and you want to work together to make a really big O, go ahead and do that. Good work. And can you say the sound O makes? Ah? Well done. I'm proud of you for trying. Let's put the O on the On the Road quilt. Excuse me, Charlie. Let's play I Spy. Now, I confess I had a hard time with the I Spy today because I was looking for words on our I Spy quilt that began with that ah sound. And I had trouble finding any that began with ah, so we're going to have to get a little creative. Okay, for this first one, I spy the name of a story about a girl who goes to a magic land over the rainbow and meets a scarecrow, a tin man, and a lion. If you know what story I'm talking about and you see a picture on here from that story, go ahead and say what it is. The Wizard of Oz. Do you hear the ah sound in Oz? Good. Now again, for this next one, we're going to have to get a little creative. I spy a piece of cake, and that piece of cake is not in a hand, it's on a plate. Good. Do you hear that ah in on? Like I said, we have to reach a little for these. Now that ah sound is in the middle of a lot of words. So let's look at some pictures and see if you can hear the ah sound that's in the middle of the word. I spy an animal that's green and says ribbit. Frog, yes, frog. Do you hear the ah in the middle of frog? And what do frogs like to do? They like to hop. Yes, do you hear the ah in Hop, that's an O. Good work. Let's look for one more. I spy with my little eye something that you might have as a pet, and he likes to chew on a bone. Yes, a dog. Do you hear the aw in dog? You are a good listener. Good work. Well, let's sing our ABCs. And I'm thinking that a simple way that we can show each other that we've gotten to the O would be either to do a little O, like this, or a big O, like this. Can you even see the top of my hands? Like this. Or like this. That's fun too. So shall we do that? Okay, let's sing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time won't you sing with me? Well done. Well, just like I struggled a little bit to find all words on the I Spy quilt, I struggled to find a book that had an ah word in the title. And remember, right now I can't go to the library because I'm stuck at home. So I had to get a little creative. So I thought about what an O looks like. And remember, one of the things that we did with our arms with the O was this. And if I put it close and if I do that, do you know what this reminded me of? What do we do at the end of our time together? We give ourselves a great big hug. And do you remember what I always remind you? You are special and you are loved. Well, guess what? I do have this book. And do you know what this book is called? You Are Special. So I think I was just supposed to read this book today, even though there's no O in the title. This book was written by Max Lucado. There's an O after all. Look at the very end of his name. There's an O. And it was illustrated by Sergio Martinez. You know what? I think my eyes are going to need a little help with this one. So let me get my glasses. Oh, that's much better. The Wemmicks were small wooden people. All of the wooden people were carved by a woodworker named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Do you see the workshop on the hill? And here's the village. Each Wemmick was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes. Some were tall and others were short. Some wore hats, others wore coats. But all were made by the same carver and all lived in the village. And all day, every day, the Wemmicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Wemmick had a box of golden star stickers and a box of gray dot stickers. Up and down the streets all over the city, people spent their days sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got stars. But if the wood was rough or the paint chipped, the Wemmicks gave dots. So what kind of sticker do you think people hoped to get, the stars or the dots? Yeah, the stars, because that meant that they were looking nice, right? But if they weren't looking so great, they got the gray dots. The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing pretty songs. Everyone gave them stars. Some Wemmicks had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good. It made them want to do something else and get another star. Others, though, could do little. They got dots. Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched. So the people would give him more dots. I don't think I like this sticker system they have. Then, when he would try to explain why he fell, he would say something silly, and the Wemmicks would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something dumb, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up and give him one for no reason at all. "He deserves lots of dots," the wooden people would agree with one another. "He's not a good wooden person." After a while, Punchinello believed them. "I'm not a good Wemmick," he would say. The few times he went outside, he hung around other Wemmicks who had a lot of dots. He felt better around them. Why do you think he felt better around the other Wemmicks with dots rather than hanging around the other Wemmicks with stars? That's a good guess. One day, he met a Wemmick who was unlike any he'd ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lucia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Wemmicks admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would run up and give her a star. But it would fall off. Others would look down on her for having no stars, so they would give her a dot. But it wouldn't stay either. "That's the way I want to be," thought Punchinello. "I don't want anyone's marks." So he asked the stickerless Wemmick how she did it. "It's easy," Lucia replied. "Every day I go see Eli." "Eli?" "Yes, Eli, the wood carver. I sit in the workshop with him." "Why?" "Why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill. He's there." And with that, the Wemmick who had no stickers turned and skipped away. "But will he want to see me?" Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear. So Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried around giving each other stars and dots. "It's not right," he muttered to himself, and he decided to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard. "I'm not staying here," and he turned to leave. Then he heard his name. "Punchinello?" The voice was deep and strong. Ooh, let me try that again, see if I can be deeper and stronger. "Punchinello?" Punchinello stopped. "Punchinello! How good to see you. Come and let me have a look at you." Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large bearded craftsman. "You know my name?" the little Wemmick asked. "Of course I do. I made you." Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at the gray dots. "Looks like you've been given some bad marks." "I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard." "Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what the other Wemmicks think." "You don't?" "No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Wemmicks just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think, and I think you are pretty special." Punchinello laughed. "Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast, I can't jump, my paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you?" Eli looked at Punchinello, put his hands on those small wooden shoulders and spoke very slowly. "Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me." Punchinello had never had anyone look at him like this, much less his maker. He didn't know what to say. "Every day I've been hoping you would come," Eli explained. "I came because I met someone who had no marks," said Punchinello. "I know. She told me about you." "Why don't the stickers stay on her?" The maker spoke softly. "Because She has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them. What? The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about their stickers. I'm not sure I understand. Eli smiled. You will, but it will take time. You've got a lot of marks. For now, just come to see me every day and let me remind you how much I care. Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and set him on the ground. Remember, Eli said as the Wemmick walked out the door, you are special because I made you. And I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, I think he really means it. And when he did, a dot fell to the ground. He lost one of his gray dots. That's a good thing, don't you think? The end. So let's think back over the story. How did Punchinello feel at the beginning of the story? Was he happy or sad? Yeah, he was sad, wasn't he? How did he feel at the end of the story? He was happier, wasn't he? I like stories with happy endings. Do you remember I said at the very beginning that the quilt was a clue to one of the songs we're going to sing? Do you remember the name of the quilt? On the Road Again. Right. Well, this song we're going to sing is called the same thing, On the Road Again. Do you hear that ah sound in on? So on starts with what letter? O. Right. So, say that phrase, on the road again. We will sing that phrase a lot in this song. So, whenever you hear me go into the word on, you can join in with the road again, and it will sound like this. On the road again. Let's sing that together. On the road again. Good. So, join in every time you hear that phrase, okay? This song is a fun one to know for when you're going to go on a road trip somewhere. Gonna get in the car and hit the highway. It's a fun one to sing. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Going places that I've never been. Seeing things that I may never see again. And I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keeps turning our way. And our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends, and I can't wait to get on the road again. Isn't that a fun one? So you can learn that one and sing it next time you get in the car. This next song is another fun one. This is a really good song for summer. And I realize I'm not really dressed for summer because what am I wearing? A sweater. But I brought a straw hat. And this song is called An Old Straw Hat. And you know what? If I'm wearing a straw hat and it's summertime, who do you think I want with me? I'll give you a hint. He's sitting on the chair behind me. Charlie! I think he should be in this song, don't you? Come along, Charlie. We got some summertime fun. If I had one wish to make, this is the wish I would choose. I'd want an old straw hat, a suit of overalls, and a worn-out pair of shoes. And my dog. Just let me roam around, laughing at big city blues. With an old straw hat, a suit of overalls, and a worn-out pair of shoes. Howdy, Mr. Brown. Ho hum, going fishing, hope you get a bite. Yes, indeed I do. Howdy, Mr. Jones. Ho hum, how's about a hayride Saturday night? Sing hi-ho the merry-o. What have you got? What have you got to lose? Get an old straw hat, a suit of overalls, and a worn-out pair of shoes. Thanks for joining me, Charlie. And thank you for joining me today. I've had so much fun with you. So as you go about the rest of your day, listen for those words that have the ah sound in them. Maybe you're going to have an omelet for breakfast. Or maybe you are going to draw a picture of an octopus. Or maybe you will go outside and play hopscotch. You hear the ah? Hopscotch doesn't start with a ah, but you hear that in there, don't you? Twice, hopscotch. You're going to find a lot of O sounds once you start listening for them. Well, before we go, hold out this arm and wrap it around your body. And hold out this arm and wrap it around the other way. And give yourself a great big hug. Because you are special and you are loved. Goodbye.